Hello and welcome to another video lesson with Mr. Roman. Today we're going to be talking about mid-segments of triangles. And this is section 5.1 in your book for the geometry students, so section 5.1. And first we need to define what a mid-segment is. The mid-segment of a triangle is a segment that contains two midpoints of the triangle. Or connects two midpoints of the triangle. So if we look here at our diagram, we can draw two midpoints. The first midpoint we'll put on segment AB, second midpoint we'll put on segment AF, and the third midpoint we'll put it on segment BF. And how we indicate that these are midpoints is by the congruent dash marks as such. So we would want to put two dash marks here, and then for the bottom, let's say it's 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we have 1, 2, and 3. So right now we can say that points W, points M, and points X. We'll call this point Y. Let's change that, and then we'll call this other one point K. So here we can say points X, Y, and K are midpoints of the triangle. Now a mid-segment would actually connect two of the midpoints. So if I want to draw a mid-segment of this triangle, I could connect X to Y. That would be a mid-segment of the triangle. So let's scoot this down just a little bit here. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry, that went dotted there for a minute. So we could say that segment XY is a mid-segment of the triangle because it connects two midpoints, which are Y and X. I can also draw another mid-segment of the triangle, which would be from X to K. So from X to K would be a mid-segment of the triangle. And then the last mid-segment of the triangle would be from Y to K. Okay? So we can really say there are three mid-segments of any triangle. Now what is significant about mid-segments is that mid-segments are parallel to the opposite side of the triangle. They are half of that opposite side. So here in this diagram I can say that XY, the segment XY, is half of the segment BF. And then I can also say that the segment XY is going to be parallel to BF. So in how would we write this all out? We can say this. Segment XY is a mid-segment of the triangle because it connects to the midpoints of the triangle. XY is parallel to BF, and XY is equal to half of BF. Okay? So, in the diagram again. Then, if we wanted to, we could say that segment YK here, is parallel to AB, parallel to segment AB. It's half of segment AB. And that YK is a mid-segment of the triangle. And then we could also talk about XK. So segment XK, we could say, is parallel to segment AF. Then we could say XK is half of the segment AF. And we also say that XK is a mid-segment. Okay, so let's look at another diagram and see how we can apply this a little bit more. So in this diagram we have some information already given to us. We can see that from these dash marks here and here that M is a midpoint of the segment AF, and we can see that this point H is actually a midpoint of segment AB because of the red dash marks. However, we cannot conclude that W is a midpoint of the segment BF because there are no dash marks to indicate as such. So in this case, the segment HW is not a mid-segment of the triangle, or at least we can't know for sure if it is. It could be, but at this point we do not know for sure. However, we could draw in a mid-segment of the triangle. A mid-segment of the triangle would go from the midpoint H to another midpoint M of the triangle. Let me scoot this down here a little bit, give you a more accurate representation. So here in this diagram I can say that segment HM is a mid-segment of the triangle because it connects two of the midpoints of the triangle. Now, since I know HM is a mid-segment, I can say that HM is half of the segment BF. I can also say that the segment HM is parallel to the segment BF, but I cannot say that the segment HM is congruent to the segment BW. That would be incorrect here because, again, we don't know where W lies. W could be over here, it can be over here. It can look very close to the middle, but not actually be in the middle. Unless we have those congruent marks, we cannot assume that it's in the middle. So here, we could assume, again, we can state that what is true about this diagram is that H is a midpoint, M is a midpoint. The segment HM is a mid-segment of the triangle. We can say that HM is parallel to BF and that HM is half of the distance of BF. So, this concludes our lesson on mid-segments of triangles.